All right. Hello, everybody. I wanted to share with you quickly how to set up credit cards correctly in QuickBooks if you have more than one credit card um, from a bank or a billing agency. So there's two different ways to do it, depending on how the bank or credit card company issues the bills. Okay, so if let's say you have multiple employees and everybody has their own credit card to use, but it's all on, through Chase Bank or one of those accounts, then you have to look at your bill. And if everybody gets their own separate bill, then you want to set it up one way in QuickBooks, and that's this way. And I'm going to show an example in just a minute. So this is where in your chart of accounts, each credit card would have its own main account. Okay, so in this scenario, Michael has a Prime Trust credit card, Dwight does, and Pam does. So their bills come separate from each other. So they're just set up as each their own account. And then when you would go in and connect QuickBooks to this credit card company, then it's just going to pull each individual transaction that Michael, Dwight, and Pam does down into the corresponding chart of accounts. So that one's pretty straightforward and simple. Let me switch over to QuickBooks and show you how you would initially set that up. So if you went to transactions, chart of accounts, and then over here to our green new button, and I'm going to name the first one uh, Prime Trust Michael. Make the account type a credit card, and then I would leave everything else alone. Save. Do the same thing again. Prime Trust Dwight. You could also use a naming convention that puts like the last four digits of the credit card in there as well, just as a refresher for you. Credit card again. Save. And one more. Prime Trust. Bam. Credit card. Save. And now when I go down into my liability section, here are those three as their own individual accounts. Okay. And then when you would go to bank transactions and go to link those accounts, you would link each one up individually. So each one, since they come on separate bills, they should come in and have each one have their own separate login to bring that in. Okay. Now let's go back and let's look at if you have multiple credit cards for employees and they all come in on one combined bill. Now, you might be able to see inside the bill, like here were Michael's transactions and here were Dwight's transactions, but the bill comes as one. Then this would be the proper way to set it up in QuickBooks. You create what's called a parent account, and that account doesn't get connected to, it's just its own kind of folder, if you will, for the other credit cards that are underneath. Okay. And then you would create Michael's and Dwight's as sub accounts of this parent account. Okay. Then when you are connecting this credit, connecting the Chase card to QuickBooks, then you would correspond these when you log into Chase to combine them or to connect them, then it's going to show Michael's account and you would map it to this sub account and you would map Dwight's to this sub account. It's always going to look a little wonky on your in your chart of accounts. This is what is recorded as the QuickBooks balance, and this is what the bank or the credit card company actually has. It should match up. If you have the parent account here, it's doing the sum total of these, and then so it should match up with whatever parent account or whatever sub account it's reporting to. So this always looks a little bit wonky, but don't let it fool you or frustrate you. These are going to reconcile. So let me show you how you would set that up in QuickBooks. So if I go back over here to our sample company, go back to our chart of accounts, then the first thing we would do, go to our green new button, and I'm going to name it Chase Credit Card Parent Account. And I'm going to call it a credit card and save. Okay. And then when I go back, I'm going to go to the new button and I'm going to say Michael And if you wanted to, you could, say Chase and then whatever his last four are. And then I'm going to make that a credit card, but then I need to go right here and say, make this a sub account. And I want to make it a sub account of this parent. Okay. And then I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to go back and do the same thing again. Dwight, Chase, credit card. Call it a credit card, sub account of the parent. Save. And now what it looks like when I go down. So now you can see the first one we did that everybody got their own bill. It's each one of those sits as their own account. And then up here since it all comes on one, we have the Chase parent, and then we have the individual cards that come in. And then when you would go to connect this to QuickBooks, you would check off the Dwight's card and map it to here, and you would check off Michael's card and map it to here, and there wouldn't be anything directly connected from your credit card company to this parent account. It's just going to go to those individuals. Then you'll be able to handle everything, reconcile, and it will come into the bank feed as one account for Dwight and one account for Michael. So you can see which transactions each one of them spent. But then when it's time for you to reconcile and pay the bill at the end of the month, it will all balance out and you'll be able to reconcile. So hopefully that helps you understand what you need to do to get credit cards properly added to QuickBooks, depending on how your credit cards are built.